Well, I usually have a little mini intro, but I'm just gonna get to it. Just making sure everything looks okay. Um, I just beat Space Age, so I'm pretty stoked. It took a really long time. Um, I could have beat it a lot sooner, but I really wanted to make that super base I made in the last video. So I'm just gonna show. I just want to show my like final base, and then share some thoughts on how how Space Age went, and show my bases and the planets and my ships and stuff. But yeah, so I made a save right before I beat it. This 3.51, and then I have a save during me beating it. So let's just go to the save before I beat it. It's literally right before I launched the final thing. Although let me check one thing here. Just keep it paused in the bot mall. Okay. Just making sure the stream is okay. Okay. So I made some changes to my base and stuff. I'm gonna go over pretty much everything. I cleared out the stuff on the top of my base, and I just basically just trying to clean it up a little bit more. What's going on over here? Nothing. And I added. Okay, so I wanted to correct a few things on my last video too that was annoying me. So I'm gonna address all this, and I'm gonna show my bases and stuff. So I guess I'll just start with correcting some stuff. So first of all, I was saying I used a couple of designs, and I've gotten rid of them all basically, except for this one. And this was an old solar design I got from like Neil House, or I don't remember where I got it, but it's not mine. And I wanted to add that like when I use somebody else's design, which I only use like a couple of other people's, it's not because I couldn't do it myself. I just liked the way it looked. It was like more aesthetically pleasing. So I was using this solar design for a long time, and I don't have a problem with that, like I said in the last video, but it's not mine. So I made my own, and it's much bigger. It has that ratio. I think it's like 0.83 of solar panels to accumulators. It has that nice ratio, and it looks great. It's huge. It's bigger. Like, see how tiny this is and how big my design is. So this is my solar design, and I put a couple of them in my base, like two right there, one here and here, and it's just cool. So I want to point that out. Like I changed my design. I came in. Changed my labs. I have the final upgraded labs, which are like biter labs basically. It's really cool. They're just better. So I added those in. I added a little spot to get rid of spoilage. And I put in some light. I started messing with a little bit of lighting. Just a little mood lighting. Just looks cool. And other than that, like, yeah, I just changed a little bit of lighting. Put like lighting for each science. So it's just more, it just looks cooler, you know? Like, look how nice that looks. And some other small changes I made. Let me see here. Upgraded my rockets facility here, like for rocket launches, because I only had 10 rockets, and now I have, I think, 16. Yeah, so that's 10 to 16. I can have more, but I just thought I needed a little bit more rockets launches going on because I have so many ships, and it's like an Aquilo in particular was such a pain in my butt, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I didn't really add too much. I made a little cell for just rockets because I started using rocket turrets, and I also wanted to, like, I made this video. I also wanted to go over some more stuff in my base because I kind of just like spent the whole last video zoomed out. Like I didn't really show what's going on inside of the base. So, oh, and I upgraded my armor a little bit. I still really haven't done too much with quality. I don't really care. You don't need it. I'm gonna go over like my base in more detail here before I get to the ships and stuff, my other bases. Okay, so last video I showed like my when I was showing stuff, I was just doing this. I was like, here, check this out. This is cool, right? This is cool, right? This is cool, right? And it was just way too fast, and like I didn't spend any time in the cell like actually showing this stuff. So here's where I do the advanced oil processing, and I try to use the excess oil to make more solid fuel. And it just kind of goes down here, and then it gets loaded into the train. And I designed this station a little crappy because it only loads on one side right here, but it's fine because I have another train for solid fuel. And as you can see, the rocket fuel doesn't like it's fully supplied. It's always fully supplied. And here's my little rocket fuel design. I wanted to go over a little bit more of my design since I'm sitting here like talking about I'm using my own designs. I like barely showed him, so that was kind of annoying me in my last video too. So it's just some light oil goes into these assemblers, and then solid fuel, and then I'm messing with these little designs on this newer base compared to my old one, where there would be a central product, and then the it would either be a central product coming in or going out, and then the products that would be outputted from it are either like surrounding it, or it's just the point is it's supposed to be symmetrical. And it just looks aesthetically pleasing. So, and then it converges at the bottom for a full saturated belt, and then it gets balanced into here. And I put this little buffer here on all of my stations and my whole base, so that when a product gets finished, it goes into the buffer and it fills up, and then it goes out to the train on both sides to load the wagon from both sides. And I just realized that's really funny that I just noticed that. But it's supposed to be 12 inserters per wagon for maximum like throughput, basically. So I have it buffered before it goes in the wagon to both make sure the wagons always get loaded as fast as possible, regardless of how much supply or whatever is happening, and two, that since it's in a passive provider chest, it's in my logistics network, and my logistics network is everything. So that way, when I come over here to my bot mall, they can just pull whatever ingredients they need for my base. They can pull it from on site without having to make like little specialized spots where I make stuff. So basically, I make stuff everywhere, and then it's in my network everywhere. So, and my bots are upgraded to 12, and they're working on 13 right now. So they're fast enough, you know, like they could be faster, but that's what I'm working on. Like you can see them zooming around. It's a big base, but they're fast enough. And like, as you'll see as I go through this base, everything's pretty much fully saturated and everything. I already showed my reactor in the last video. I had a couple things I forgot about. Like I forgot on this blueprint. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I forgot to put roboports in here. So like if I slap it down, these chests do not have any robot coverage. So or roboport coverage. So I had to kind of fix it, and it makes it not as symmetrical, but whatever. These work beautifully. Why am I getting super attacked? Whatever. I already showed those. And then I showed my, so I'm just running past them, that's why. My new solar design, which you don't even need at this point in the game. Like solar used to be a solution for mega bases because nuclear, the fluid calculations would take up like a lot of processing power apparently. I never played to that level on mega bases or anything. So solar was an alternative where it would have like less updates per second, so it would require less processing power from your computer. But they kind of like fixed fluid calculations in 2.0 in Space Age, so you don't need to do the whole solar thing as much. I can't even explain it, but I just put some in there because it looks cool, and I was proud of my own design. Anyway, and then I showed this square a couple times in the last video, but it's just basically I made this little Neato burrito little design on the side, and then put my name on it like a child. It's like very childish, but I should have put like my online handle or something like MacLeod, but that's corny. I just put my name on there just to. It's kind of just like I wonder if I can just write my name on here, and then I could. I'm like cool. And that was it. So when I was talking about this in my last video, I was showing where I do all my ore processing basically, and I have it beaconed. And that was another thing I didn't explain beacons and modules, but I will. I have it beaconed, and it couldn't take modules, but I never actually did anything with it, and I don't need to. Like, the belts are usually saturated, and these bad boys are always full. So it's just one of those things where I was like ready for the future, I guess. And then plus, there's a better building for this anyway. You can just use a foundry, you know. But that's a whole nother thing, and I'll get back to that because I'm actually using some foundries on my final ship. But yeah, so that's copper. So copper ore from a train gets into these furnaces, and then goes out. And like before, I was showing, it goes into these passive provider chests. So my bots can use it, and it super loads the train. See, all the inserters just slamming them in there for maximum speed. The same with iron. It's the same design, my design, and it just takes the iron, loads it up. Good stuff. There's another one. And I initially had this as one train would pick up here, and I realized it was just not enough. So I made like a little... I combined a couple of balancers in this like a balancer abomination. So it takes 4 lanes of iron and splits it, you know, ostensibly into 12 lanes of iron. So it's basically a weird janky 4 to 12 balancer, but there's that. Wow, what is this? What's this? I think it's some leftover stuff here. Didn't notice this was here. Away with you. No, I don't want it. Please stop. It just meant the bots take it. Okay, anyway, so I was showing my labs here before. These are cool. Oh yeah, when I was making this lab in the editor, I made it even more compact without this extra belt here, and it was too small for beacons. So I had to redo it and just put like one extra belt length, like a tailor, you know, lengthening a hem of pants or something. It was like just one extra belt length on there, and then it worked perfectly. And then I had to add these little spoilage active provider chests, so it takes any spoiled Gleba science out and throws it back in the network, and then it gets processed in the bot mall. And the bot mall takes spoilage, I think, right here. And I've explained this in the last video where I have a requester chest hooked up to the logistics network. So whenever the spoilage is above 1200, then it requests some spoilage, throws in here, and gets deleted from the game, basically. So, yeah, so that's the upgraded labs. They're awesome. My SPM is only like 650. I think it goes up to 652. I don't care. Like, I know people like wiener judge each other and like compare their SPMs. Like, I just wanted enough SPM to do the research I wanted, and that's it. I could easily have more. My trains are like always full. I'm making a ton of science. I don't care. Like, it works beautifully. So, and I showed this train thing for my science. Iron, I've mentioned last video. I only have one train. What is going on with these inserters today, man? Slacking. So, I get like a little cough from Christmas. I only have one pickup for iron because it seems like you just don't need as much iron. Or, I mean, steel. I've been saying iron over and over again. Steel. Seems like you don't need as much steel, so just... I mean, I have a couple of cells of steel. Make piercing round ammunition. Oh, I'm going to need to explain beacons and modules, too, but I'll get to that. Right. Oh, I beat the game.
You did it!
Hey, check it out. Let me see if I can actually... How do I transition to this? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so when I beat the game, I get... You can upload your save to the Galaxy Hall of Fame, and it's like all of your planets and all your bases and stuff. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to get some water because I keep coughing and crap, and it's really annoying.
Did you drink your tea yet?
Yeah, I drink my tea. What do you want?
I thought you were on the phone with your mom, so I was going to come out and be like, tell your mom we're in the pants.
Oh. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is get some water.
Oh my god, I hate people. You know how like some parents with children, especially young children, they tell you like they really gross ass shit about like babies and stuff, and you're like, that was a weird thing to say or to show me. One of these ladies that worked close to the picture of her
Yes, I
trust
know.
that by people.
Yes.
About ruining their holidays. I don't need to see no pussy ass ear. Exactly.
I'm sorry you had to see that. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that colorful anecdote. Um, I was okay. So I was showing piercing round ammunition. So beacons and modules. I just mentioned that last video, but I didn't explain it for anyone who didn't know. If anyone cared. So beacons take modules are one thing, beacons are another. But so modules basically they're like the power ups of this game. So like speed modules make stuff faster, efficiency modules make stuff use less power, and then production modules make stuff make extra products. There's plus and minuses to stuff. Like you can see it when you hover over it. Like this uses way more energy on speed, but it gets way faster, and it also reduces quality and efficiency. I don't even need to go over it, but they have some plus and minuses. But they're overall, when you use them, they're a huge boon. So some recipes they don't let you use production modules because they can only be used on an intermediate product. So I can't actually use them on these, but I can put speed modules in them. And I haven't even put 3s in here, even though I have 3s, but whatever. So that's what beacons and modules are. So the beacons, that's what modules are. Beacons just basically are free space to put modules, but you can only put speed and efficiency modules in them. I didn't think for a second. So it's like basically you put production, like the real simple way of putting it is you put production modules in assembly machines and then you beacon them with speed modules. But some machines don't take production, or some recipes won't let you use production, and blah blah blah. So I usually have everything with beacons and modules, but sometimes I don't. Like in this case, you can't use production. So okay, anyway, so that's how that is the cell. I just wanted to show off my designs a little bit. So I got like a little nubbin going. Steel comes in from the top, and then iron comes in, and it goes into the middle. So like long-handed inserters, I was basically sleeping on, is my point of like showing these, because I never really used long-handed inserters before because they're just kind of different. So like incorporating them into my designs made like more aesthetically pleasing, symmetrical designs like this, where the finished product goes right up and down the middle, and it just looks really cool. And then look at that, passive provider chest. So yeah, here's green circuits, green science, or logistic science. Yeah, here's a good example of beacon and module. I don't have the this inserters module, but I have the actual science and then the gears, because some of these things like iron gear wheels and copper coils, they're like, you just need a ton of them. So yeah, so that's beacon moduled, and you're supposed to put more than one beacon on assemblers. I also didn't talk about that, but I just hate how it looks so much. I really do. I don't like the idea of putting 15 beacons and then one assembly machine. I just think it looks awful, and it's to me it's sweaty in a way, and I'm like, you're just that thirsty for efficiency. I'm like, it's necessary at a certain level, and there's nothing wrong with it, but personally I just despise it. So I try to use one beacon for an assembly machine, and in this case I have like 3 lined up here, but that's only because I'm trying to hit these other machines. And then again, just a train bringing in iron, train bringing in green circuits, another train for iron. So, and that's when I was doing more lamps on my builds. But so let's go over here. Oh yeah, I already showed the red one, and this weird, like, it's still symmetrical, but it's like I didn't space it right, and it's probably because I was copy pasting and I was getting lazy. I wasn't paying attention. Another copper plate cell. Really need to watch where I run because these trains. And again, like, see this one, it looks like I started putting some modules in, but that was when I was having power problems, but I don't have any now, especially with I got the last form of power, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then there's steel, and then I did stone. Also kind of like ran through this rail design really fast. I didn't really show it in detail. At one point, I was pulling off of here and putting it into provider chest, but that was before I started putting provider chest as a buffer, which is really cool. But these bad boys build fast. There's no modules or beacons in here. They just build fast, like period. So there's that. There's some advanced circuits. Definitely beacon and moduled. Okay, I'm gonna stop mentioning that now. I think I think the point has been made, but yeah, there's my little design for advanced circuits. I already showed my mall. Oh, that's what I wanted to mention too. And I thought I fixed. Oh, probably because I didn't save. I wanted to mention this in the last video too, and I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about using other people's designs. I use Neil House's mall because I like the way it looks, but again, I don't need to use it. Like, it's not even convenience really. It's just simply like, oh, that's cool looking, I'll use it. You know, I've designed malls myself. They just didn't look quite as good as this. And it's not about efficiency or like, oh, this is better, so I'm using it. It's simply just, I just like the way it looks. Like, I know what I'm doing. Oh, I have a new design for circuits, but I'll get over there as I'm running through. But I showed my green circuits last video, and I kept the ugly lip over here that I was pointing out. Here's just where I get some coal, like nothing special. Oh, military science. Here's my little design. Nice beacon to moduled. I love the early sciences. They're so much easier than the later sciences. These grenades in particular were a problem for a while until it finally was saturated. And the walls. The walls were a bit of an issue too. At first. Oh, so here's the cell where I'm actually making the walls and grenades. The problem with walls is it takes a really large amount of bricks, and they build really fast. So all these furnaces are only making these 3 machine tier walls, and I can't put production modules in them either. So these aren't beacon or moduled. The furnaces are though. So it's where I make walls and grenades again with the design where it's like 2 inputs, 1 output in the center. What is this? Utility science? Oh, production. This is where I'm making production science. Bring a train of tier 1 modules in and some electric furnaces, some rails, beacon and moduled. Is this utility science? Thank you. It was like one of these bad boys called utility science. So here's utility science. And again, with the central belt that just takes all of the output. It looks really cool. These are, for new players, these are really hard to craft because you need the flying robot frames, the processing units, and the low density structures. So these are, you feel like you made it when you craft these as a new player. I already showed off my, that's where I receive everything. Glebe is empty. Well, doesn't matter. There's another green circuit cell here. Oh, this is where I was making the modules for the science. And unfortunately, you can't really like. You can put modules in everything, but I really love those productivity modules, or productivity modules, and you just can't use them in a lot of situations. Like for instance here, you can't use productivity modules to make productivity modules, so it's a little slow. I could fix this, but it works just fine. And here's where I make electric furnaces, and both trains are not here, which is not. What's going on here? Oh, he's just picking up. What about you? Steel train? Oh, so. Oh, and then here is chemical science. This is where newer players run into oil for the first time, and oil can be really confusing for new people. But it's really easy after you get used to it. Like most things, it's like really confusing at first, and then after you understand it, it's like super easy. Some more advanced circuits. There's a little offshoot where I make plastic. I just have a couple trains bringing in the petroleum gas and some coal. Nothing special. Like some of these builds are like, they're like one and done. You know, plastic is one of the easiest things to make in the game. Like build like complicated recipe wise. Like you literally just slap some chemical plants down and put in the 2 ingredients, and you got plastic. Like it's not that deep. Engines. I've always liked this engine design. Not that it's genius or anything, because it's not, but since pipes and gears both take iron plates, and the engine takes both, I just put them in a little 1-1-to-1 situation. It looks nice, works well. It's not like the most efficient, beautiful thing in the world or anything, but it works well enough. Those engines. Here's where I was making some sulfur. And don't ask me why some of this stuff is like offset. Like, I think it's because I was planning on doing something else and then I changed my mind at the last minute. But here's where I make some sulfur. And a lot of these are level 2 modules and beacons and stuff. I have level 3s, but they're very slow to make. And I'm not really upping the production because, like I said, I already beat the game. So it's not like I need them anymore. But you still need them here and there, so they're just slowly being made here. It's fast enough. And you can do that with a lot of stuff in this game. It doesn't have to be like super efficient and super perfect. It just slow and steady wins the race. Some stone. Oh, here's where I'm making some bricks. This is where the brick train is. Now, let me see something, because I don't believe you can, but yeah. Cannot make them in foundries, but it takes so much stone to make these little bad boys. I didn't dare put my furnaces here unless I was going to add another train stopper. It's like once you scale stuff up, it can grow the size of the footprint of the factory like a lot. So that's enough for now. Here's where I make some sulfuric acid. Am I like getting all these cells here? Okay. Some processing units, and again with the like central output surrounded by the 2 inputs. 2 green circuit trains for this, because these eat green circuits or electronic circuits. 20 electronic circuits, 2 advanced circuits, and 5 sulfuric acid makes 1 processing unit. Here is batteries. There's something about batteries I always enjoyed. Like, I just like how clean it usually looks when you finish making it. This is a kind of a weird design I was messing around with, but it's just always nice to build these, and it builds really fast. What's the time on these? 4 seconds, fast enough. And I like how they look on a belt. There's something about it. It's nice. Here's electric engines, which are a huge pain for new players. We got green circuits and regular engines, and I just have them converge here in a central belt. And I don't know why I did this design. I'm trying to think, but it works. But I took 1 belt and split it into 2, which I generally try not to do. But I mean, in essence, I'm splitting 1 belt into 6 here, but that's because you just don't need that much of this stuff. But eventually it just fills up anyway. Oh, this is where I was making landfill, and landfill requires an eye-watering amount of stone, so I made like a little loop of chests, and I could make more, but how much landfill do I have? I have 63k. That's, I mean, it takes a lot to use it, to put stuff down, but that's enough. And then here's flying robot frames. And you'll see I tried to beacon and module stuff when I could, but, you know, sometimes you can't. And I'm using the same kind of design I've used on a couple of previous cells, where I'm just splitting the 2 on the top with a belt in the middle, and then splitting the belt. God, my throat. It's like there's like a piece of fiberglass on my throat or something. It's like scratchy. Yeah, flying robot frames are really slow to build. Yeah, 20 seconds, and they require a lot of ingredients. I didn't dare put more assemblers in here yet at the time, and it turns out I didn't need them anyway, so that's fine. Oh, low density structures. These were such a problem for me when I was learning how to play the game because they build so slow. Yeah, 15 seconds. They take 20 copper plates each, and then steel and plastic. So I beacon and moduled them, and that basically took care of it. But they still build like really slow, and they're really they were a huge pain. But we're all good to go now. And then, I have both the low density structures built like right next to each other. I got two, just because you use them for rockets. There's another copper plate cell, another stone cell. Here's where I was making a little bit of extra solid fuel and gas, just for you just need this stuff for rockets basically. So I mean for rocket fuel. So just another stop, and it's just taking gas. This is like one of the simplest recipes in the game. It's like you just take gas and then it turns into solid fuel. Like that's it. And it's oil processing is so easy. It's just really confusing for new players because of pipes. But think of pipes like a plus sign. They can only go in the 4 directions. Like you can't like technically diagonal a pipe per se. I mean it'll auto diagonal like that, but just think of it like that. And then if you want a pipe to go far, you just put an underground pipe, and then it's really simple. Looks like I actually used all the copper on that. That's funny. Here's where I'm just picking up some copper ore. Since I have these cells here, I was like, I might as well use the resources in them anyway. I figured on a couple of them. Is that more piercing? I didn't even know I had 2 cells of these. Some more piercing round ammunition or red ammo. Here's all my uranium stuff. I just put it in one cell for everything. These keep getting full, and my solution for when these are full is to shoot them with an artillery round. So there's better ways to do it, but I just tire of these always being full because they'll clog up. And then when they get clogged up, it's like really annoying. Waiting for the artillery shell. There you go. And then the bots will fix it. But this is where I do all my uranium processing for. Here's the fuel cells for the reactors. I only keep like a few on me. Here's where I put all the finished fuel cells. I request them, and then they go back into the network. And then I probably recycle them or something. I don't remember. Oh, I mean it turns into uranium-238. And then I usually recycle if there's just too much of it. And then here's where I make the fuel for my trains, which is nuclear fuel. So it's all here in the uranium cell. And then here's where I make uranium ammo, which is always nice. Best regular ammo in the game. Very easy to design. It's just red ammo plus uranium. Some more stone. There's a lot of stone. I noticed there was like a little iron patch here, so I was like, this is a great place to build concrete because there was water. This whole base is basically built on water. I just landfilled over it. So I got some water, and then as you can see, these are landfilled over because it looks like they're just sitting on nothing, but there's water under here. Just put the iron with the water and grab some stone bricks, and there's concrete. Another design where it goes out down the middle. And here's the bot mall. When I tore down my old base, I wasn't sure how much storage I would need to hold everything, so I just like went overboard with storage basically. So I have a ton of storage. And you know what? Let me get rid of all this stuff I have on me that I don't want. I just put it in the trash slots, and then my bots I'm letting my bots sort this stuff out because it's a little more organized if you let your bots do it. If you do it yourself, it just becomes a mess. So I think I added a couple things in bot mall, like elevated rail stuff, because it was really annoying when I was trying to build some rail stuff. Oh, I have Spidertron now. I didn't have that in the last video. Actually, just stay over there. He's guarding this. I'll explain it now. So one of the last technologies you get is you can capture a biter spawner, and you can use it to make biter eggs, and you need the eggs for a couple different things. So I made a little area here. I originally went all the way out here, and I captured this one in the wild, and I was using it, but it's so far, it was annoying, and I kept having to run back and forth to get the eggs, because the eggs, when they spoil, they just turn straight up into a biter. So, and you need them for productivity module 3s. So the eggs, yeah, this spoil result, big biter. So I basically have it under guard. It's one of my Spidertrons over here. Spidertron helps keep watch with these turrets. You don't need much, it's just a big biter. If these actual spawners, the captive biter spawners spoil, they turn into a behemoth. So I was like, if that would, they're never going to spoil because I always have Bioflux feeding them. But if they did spoil, that would be, you know, a small problem. That's why I tried to build it on water, but I messed up and it's like off. The alignment is off. But I was like, whatever, it's fine. Same with these labs. The alignment's not perfect in the cell. It's like a little too low, but it's good enough. Here's where I make some explosives, and you need these for cliff explosives and rockets and all kinds of goodies. Here is refined concrete and hazard concrete. And it starts, some of these recipes are a little annoying to like make symmetrical, but when you find out how to do it like this, it looks pretty good, I think. So I got the water coming out on the side, and then the iron sticks, is that what they're called? Yeah, iron sticks. I just have them direct inserted in here. Sometimes it's better to direct insert stuff. Sometimes you should belt it, sometimes you shouldn't. That's kind of up to you, but that's one of those decisions where I was like, I'll just direct insert it. Some more green circuits. And like, I got a better design for these I'll show. I'm getting there. So that's why I'm kind of just like power walking through these. So green, red. I noticed I'm just kind of like, my circuits are just really important. So I made extra cells of those. And then my rockets again, which I already showed earlier. Should probably put more robo ports here, but it works. And they're all beacon and modules, so it makes as much rocket parts as possible. What's going on here? And then finally, yeah, I showed the rockets where I make rockets. And unfortunately, you can't production module these bad boys, but I'll put a speed module in anyway. And I made a lot because I have rocket turrets, and I'll get to that. And I showed off the biter spawner. It's pretty cool. Oh, it's like some biters got out. See, that's what happens when they get out. If something spoils, they'll get lasered or Spidertron. And I have him requesting rockets, so he always has rockets on him. And my rockets are upgraded a bit, so they do like over 1,000 damage each. So it's a regular biter, or big biter, is just no problem. What is going on here? It's my solar design again. I added some more nuclear reactors because I was running low on power. Like, it was crazy. And there is a better power, arguably better. I'll get to it. And another nuclear reactor, another solar design. I think in the last video this wasn't filled in, but here's where I make this space platform foundation. Got a ton. Oh, so here's my new design. I'm going to start from the beginning over here, because that was processing units. So I started using the electromagnetic plants from Fulgora, and it just spits these out real quick. So I really liked it. Like, it's way faster because of the production bonus you get from. What's going on here? Oh, wow. That insert was faced the wrong way. Whatever. Are these all facing the wrong way? That is really funny. These are like little things you don't notice when you copy paste stuff. Like you have to kind of pay attention to. I'm sitting here trying to show my design and then I have stuff like backwards. But anyway. So yeah, electromagnetic plants have a big production bonus. So you just spit out circuits like really quick. Unfortunately, they require a huge amount of power. Like this right here says the max consumption is plus, 15 megawatts plus 66 kilowatts. So they eat a lot of power, and especially when you have a beacon and module. Like I have production module 3s in here, so and speed beacons with speed module 3s. But as you can see, they spit out circuits super fast. So, and then the same with the advanced circuits. I have them in the electromagnetic plants to just. Whoops. Thought I messed up again. I did not. So they have that production bonus as well. I don't have the copper beacon here or moduled. I mean, because these build way slower. So there's enough time, even without a module copper coils, for it to keep up. So there's the red circuits redesign. And I have this little like, it's the same design as my other stations. I just turned it on its side to load in here because this design is fairly long. And then finally, processing units. But again, with the electromagnetic plants. So yeah, that's a little redesign I did. I think it looks really great. And it's really, really fast. So, but yeah, it's my whole base now. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's finished. I'd like to do a little more things to clean it up. Why is this not building? Oh, because this is in the way, so I'm gonna have to do this first. Anyway, yeah, I was cleaning up some stuff from my old base, and I put a little Woob software logo on the original spaceship you landed in. This is where I started, right there, and then it turned into this. But yeah, that's my entire base. Every cell, I wanted to just go over it and walk through it, just show how it worked. Because last video, I was in map view the whole video, it felt like, and it annoyed me, like, looking back on it. But and my finished bot mall is, like, one of my favorite cells to hang out in. I like to just keep my character here while I'm doing stuff because I can get whatever I need and really quick here. And some railgun ammo I was making. I put that in quality because railgun. I was gonna put railguns in my defensive wall, but you just don't need them, and they're really annoying because they shoot everything. Like if I put one behind the wall, as you can see, it would hit everything in front of it. So they're not really a great idea for base defense. But the ammo is fairly cheap to make, so I could. Don't care. Oh, and yeah, and the rocket turrets. I put rocket turrets all along my walls because the rockets are so cheap too, and their turrets aren't really that hard to make either. So it's just another line of defense. So my final defensive wall is regular gun turrets with uranium ammo, laser turrets, Tesla turrets, flamethrowers, rocket turrets. So that's, and I'm just using regular rockets. I don't use, I will not use nukes on them, and I don't use explosives rockets because it's, I haven't really tried them out that much. I think it's just more AoE, but, oh, looks like a asteroid came through. So I'm going to go over my final planetary bases as well real quick. So I already showed Vulcanus, but I did some changes, minor ones. So I noticed all of my steam was coming from steam engines, and that gives out a pitiful 900 kilowatts. But if you use steam turbines, you get 5 megawatts. So it's roughly a little over 5 times the amount of power, and I was having power issues, so not anymore. That's 1.6 gigawatts just from steam. So that fixed my power issues. I ran into some science issues. I'm still having them, but I don't really care. Oh, no, not anymore. Never mind. I didn't have enough science, so I built a couple more science foundries. I built some more tungsten carbide, beacon moduled it, slapped it over here. That took care of my science issues. I ran out of tungsten, which was very unfortunate. here. This is my original tungsten mine. So as you can see, I cleared off a lot of space for more tungsten mines. You know, while I'm talking, let me go do this. Maybe this will be like the nice little piece of the video. I was running out of tungsten, and the only way to get more tungsten was to kill basically a demolisher so I can go to his spot and his territory and I'm like lost in my own base. It's hilarious. Anyway, to go into his territory and get the tungsten from there. When you go into your spaceship, you have to drop everything off, unfortunately. But you can keep your weapons, which I did not know. You just can't take your ammo with you. Oh, good. The ship's here. So I'm going to go to my ship. I'm going to go to Vulcanus, and I'll tell you why in a second here. You can probably guess from what I'm doing. I'm trying to be suspenseful. It's like my and my molten copper is running a little low, which is annoying. Yeah, so I built a couple more copper foundries, molten copper foundries, but even then, it's just not enough. So I put some beacons on it, but it's not quite enough. But it helped. Yeah, before it was just not enough. Now it's not enough, but special. Yeah, see, this should not have a delay or go red at any point, and it's like it's doing that because it's not quite enough. I can add more, but I don't really care right now. It's like it's not that important. So, yeah, that's my Vulcanus base. I'm going to go to Vulcanus when this is done, whatever it's doing. He's just refilling ammo and stuff. Kicking out the extra iron ore. I'm going to go to Vulcanus, and I'm going to kill a demolisher. That's what I'm going to do. So that's how I got all this extra space that I'm not even using. So there's my final Vulcanus base. As you can see, it doesn't require much. Just all my bases, you only need about 4 rockets, and I get a little bit of extra rocket supplies from my main hub, but it's really not. It's just not that deep. Let's go to so my last video I hadn't even been to Gleba, let alone Aquilo, so let me show my Fulgora base one more time, and then I'll go back. My Fulgora base is still chaos, like last time. The only thing that happened was I ran out of holmium solution, and I'm still having problems. So my plates started running dry. Aquilo will suck your Fulgora supplies dry, and I'll get to why. I need to come in here and fix, this is completely out of scrap, so I'm going to have this train merge down here, and then just make another stop. Because there's plenty more scrap here. And then I'm going to build foundation and get the scrap here, but I'll get to that. So, and I redid my accumulators and stuff. I made a little Fulgora accumulator design. It's just lightning rods, roboports, power. So, just so it looks a little less janky. Looks nicer. So, I haven't been to Gleba yet at the, the last video. This is how I beat Gleba. And your results will vary. I got steam turbines for power. I got heating towers all over the place. And this is my solution to Gleba. It's basically bots. And I take all the spoilage. It all goes in a passive provider or active provider chest. And then these requester chests will read how much spoilage I have. And if it's over 4,800, they will request some. And it throws in the heating tower. So what I'm ostensibly doing here is I'm taking spoilage and using it for power. So I took one of the biggest weaknesses of the planet and turned it into a strength. And a lot of people do that. But that's what I settled on. Here's my little design. I make eggs here, bioflux, lots of bots, there's science. What got me to beat Gleba, what the problem was, what the big like epiphany moment was both overdoing the farming. As you can see, I got a little bit of farmland going here. I overdid it on the farming for my base, and then I basically used efficiency modules. I had to think for a second. And these are only 2s because at that point when I beat Glebe, I didn't even have 3s. Efficiency modules make it so your nutrients get used less. And nutrients were the biggest problem because I just never had enough no matter what I did. So efficiency modules and bots getting rid of my spoilage with the heating towers and the turbines, that did it for me. That finished it. And 4 rockets again. I get my supplies off planet. I don't use, for the most part, I don't use the planetary way of making the rocket fuel and stuff because I don't care, and you don't have to. So I just bring it in from my main base. That's why my main base is so good. And I have some artillery here, oddly enough, because if there's any eggs, or pentapod eggs, I want to snipe them before they turn into stompers and kill me. So, yeah, that's my Gleba base. I take the fruit, I turn it into a product, and I take the product, turn it into another product, and I take the other product, turn it into science, basically. And I got plenty of science and stuff here. I got like 24,000 nutrients, 12,000 bioflux, 4.5 thousand science, and that's way more than I need. So that's how I beat Gleba. It was really annoying, and I don't like it, and I don't care. Everybody is like, Gleba's the best planet. I'm like, you guys can like dick ride Gleba all you want. I hate it. I hate spoilage. I don't like the idea. I just don't enjoy it, and I was glad to be done with it. And I just built this base and then left and never came back. And I hopefully never have to come back. I don't like it. And that's my opinion. Aquilo is probably is arguably worse than Gleba because it's so annoying. And this is where I'm going to start getting into my Space Age final thoughts. The ice mechanic or the freezing mechanic is so annoying. Like it's realistic, but it's not fun. Everything is frozen all the time. It's really annoying, constantly having to make sure you have enough heat. So, and spacing out the heat pipes with everything else. So the biggest problem for me on this planet is both the heat, obviously. Energy was a problem, but then I got fusion reactors, which I'll get into. And the space. These islands are tiny. There's no land masses, really. So you have to rely on ice platforms, and that's still not enough because you can't build on them. See how it's all red? You then have to get refined concrete or something like that. I use refined concrete. And then you can build on the ice platform. So just to build your stuff, you have to put down heat pipes to keep it warm, ice platforms just so there's land, and then refined concrete so that you can put a machine on the land. It's really, really, really annoying, and I did not like it. But you get like the best stuff in the game here, so it is, you know, that's how it is. The science build's excruciatingly slow, and it's very difficult to get the resources. This is a planet where you have to literally, and this is why I'm really glad I made such a nice home base. You have to ship everything here. There's like no way that I know of to just start a base from scratch here without shipping in supplies, because the only supplies you get here is like looks like I stripped all the supplies around here. Oh, is ice, lithium, ore, and basically ice platforms. Like what is this stuff called? Just lithium. It's bad. So you got to ship everything in, build it, heat it, make sure you can place stuff down. The costs of everything are really high here too. Like, I want more fusion reactors, but these bad boys take 250 quantum processors each, 200 superconductors, and 200 tungsten plates. So this is the final planet, so that it's end game basically. So you need to make sure your logistics for all of your planets are well covered. And why do I not? Oh, because I didn't drop off the stone. This system rears its ugly head, where you have to make sure you put. I was complaining about this in the last video. You have to make sure when you want something, you put it in the ship to say you're sending it, and then you have to put it in the cargo bay that you're going to receive it. I forgot to with stone, because I was going to make some foundation here. But anyway, that's my Aquila base. A lot of the problem is the heat and the space, but you also have a finite amount of lithium. So I'm getting the lithium. and I realized I was running low because you need a lot of lithium. So then I had to go find some more lithium, which is way down here. So I had to build this long landmass here of ice platform, and then and then heat it. And then getting heat over this long distance is a problem too. And then also I got you need this. What is this stuff called? Fluorine. But thankfully fluorine's infinite, like oil. Yeah, for some reason lithium is not infinite, but fluorine is. Whatever. So lithium, fluorine, ammonia. Ammonia's infinite as well. And then that's where I make science. Finally got nuclear reactors. These are very interesting, and I'm going to talk about these when I talk about my ship rather than on planet. Because they require an initial setup of cold, what is this stuff called? Fluoroketone? I don't know how to pronounce that. And then once you kind of cycle it through the system, it self-regulates, and then you don't need any more. So I actually don't have it doing that on planet, but I have it on the ship doing that. Because on the planet, I just have it all connected to everything. But there's my Aquila base. This is where you get rail guns and rail turrets and just great stuff. Ugly, not the best base, but it works. Let's talk about, finally, this is my final ship, and it's a doozy. So to beat the game, you have to go to the edge of space, or what is it called? Solar system edge. Shattered Planet is for the last science called Promethean Science, and I haven't even done that yet, but you don't need it to beat the game. So this is my final ship. It's a big boy. It has to be big because you have to do a lot of stuff on it. What were you just shipping out? Alright, whatever. So I have the fusion here. So with the fusion reactors, you have to output them to these generators, and you have to shoot the plasma, which is these little pink star-shaped things, icons. You have to shoot the plasma into the generators, and the generators will also output the hot hot fluoroketone. When you output hot fluoroketone, you can put it in a cryogenic plant, which you get from Aquilo, and it can change it into cold fluoroketone, and then you can shove that right back into the reactors, which needs it. So again, that's how the self-regulating process works. So if you do what I did, I just got to ship some barrels over from Aquilo, loaded up the storage tank with the cold fluoroketone, put it in my reactors, and then it just self-regulated. So it's always going to be around 3.9. So I use that for power. I have these solar panels and stuff for backup, because I had to, before I got the what are these things called? Fusion power cells, I needed power. So I just used solar. And it's ugly, but I don't really care. So the big thing with this, why are you shipping off calcite? Like, what is going on? Oh, my ship is going there. Anyway, so the big difference with this ship is I needed to use more resources. So this is how I ended up doing it. Because on all my other ships, I have the crushers right next to my cargo bay, because it's just easier to like load them and unload them. It's way easier. So for my new ship, I had to do it out of the cargo bay, and that became a problem. So I basically use circuits to do it. So I have circuits reading how much of individual asteroids there are, when to activate them, and then when to yeet them off the ship, which is where I yeet them. So if there's, like, for instance, too many oxoid asteroids, they get yeeted off the ship. And I put this little noodly snake spiral design because I needed a lot of asteroid chunks to fuel the ship and everything in the ammo. The ammo is the main problem. So this is basically a buffer. So I just keep more asteroids on the ship at once. And I have it where I just have one regular for... I was like, what is happening? I'm getting shipped onto Vulcanus. I have it so where I have one metallic, one carbonic, one oxide. So that makes the regular ingredients for your ship there. Then here's where it gets different. And then I have these random ones. I don't even know why I put these here. Just for balance, I guess. And these are all beacon and moduled for a lot of stuff on my ship. Then I have this advanced metallic asteroid, which is making iron and copper, and then this is making carbon and sulfur, and then finally ice and calcite. So it's extra materials I need, and I don't. I'm so confused why my ship is sending out calcite. Like, am I asking? Oh, because I'm asking for it. Why am I asking for calcite? Stop. So I have everything come in here, lots of belts, and then I shoot some excess out to this side, not much. Here's where I shoot most of the excess, and it's I have it controlled by circuits. If my calcite's above 300, get rid of it. And there's a little yeeting station here. It just shoots out these belts, all gets yeeted out. The fuel for this ship is so good. I'd never run out of fuel. I could run it at full blast the whole time, but then you run into a problem with so many asteroids, so I still throttle it with that circuit design from my last video. So here's the fuel tanks side by side. I put them all side by side, just kind of be a smart ass, I guess, because it looks like I'm blending them or something, but I'm not. They're all individual. So water, thruster fuel, thruster oxidizer. So there's an improved recipe for the fuel that you can use that takes calcite, and it generates 1.5 thousand as opposed to the so the improved recipe makes 1.5 thousand. The original recipe makes 75. So do the math. This recipe is way better, all at the expense of just some extra calcite. So I never run out of fuel with that recipe. Then I started using foundries because you make so much more because of the production bonus materials with it. So that's how I'm making the iron and stuff I need. So I have sulfur and carbon coming in to make coal with coal synthesis. Then with the coal, I make explosives with the sulfur. Then with the explosives and the iron plates I'm making with the foundries and the iron ore, I can make rockets. And with the copper, I should have used another foundry, but I was like, whatever. So I use electric furnaces with the copper plates to make the copper coils and the explosives and the steel I'm making from these foundries using the molten iron from the foundries down here, which is using the iron ore from the asteroids. And that's how I make railgun ammo on ship. And if I come up here, here's where all the big bangs happen. I did not mean to launch without myself, but I guess I'm not going to save anyway. So here's where my railguns are. And these are really annoying to make. So I'm tweaking the recipe still. I'm trying to make it to where it's like they only shoot the huge ones, because I've tried it out on a test flight, and when it shoots the big asteroids, it uses way too much ammo. So this ammo builds very slowly. You can only put this. I can't put production modules, so even with all these machines, it's still too slow. I was thinking of doubling this, but this beat the game, so it was good enough. So there's my ship. Lots of circuits, lots of cool stuff. Oh, and I have a little commentator here. It just tells me how many asteroids are on this big belt, just for curiosity's sake. Yeah, so there's my final ship. Fusion-powered railguns. Works great. As a final treat here before I get off, because this isn't a long stream, I just wanted to show that stuff. I am going to hopefully kill some demolishers. Just to grab a little bit more territory. And I'm on Vulcanist on foot here. Sometimes it's fun just to go to like planets on foot. Oh, and here's where I was getting that last bit of tungsten, or the new tungsten, because my old mines ran out. Just have them beacon a module down here. And since my mech armor is pretty upgraded, I pretty much just fly through areas. So you just come into demolisher territory. Okay, here's one. Is a medium. And it's best to hit them head on, so you can get that headshot, and don't let your lasers hit them because they'll aggro. So I'm going to come right here. And I missed the shot a little bit, but that's it. Demolisher down. And then you can come over here and... Oh, I don't have any robots on me because I'm on planet. And then you just... It's a little corpse. See if I can kill another one or... And that's, see, after I kill them, all of this territory is mine now. And it stays that way permanently, so you don't have to worry about killing them and then they like come back and regain it or something and smash your base. because they will just 100% like rock your base instantly. They'll just crawl through the whole thing. So just looking for one more demolisher. And they're like, I wouldn't say shy, but they're like kind of hard to find. Here we go. It's another medium. I have not even seen a huge one. I don't know where they are. I guess I need to go further in the map. God, I missed again. Here we go. And this is the power of the railgun. It does, each shot's doing 26,000 physical damage, so it's, they ain't having it. But anyway, I just wanted to show my final base since I beat the game. It's been a hell of a thing. Like it was kind of like, you know, they don't just make games for the 0.0001% extreme, like elite sweaty tryhard type gamers. Sometimes there's regular people like me that want to enjoy a game, and you can actually do it with this game. You can actually beat it even if you're not like a genius. So just wanted to show my final base that I beat the game with, and I don't know if I'll keep playing this or take a break. I mean, I'll always play Factorio, but I don't know if I'll keep playing it like immediately. I just wanted to beat it, and then kind of see what happens after that, if I'm going to play this or something else. But that's my whole base. I finally basically got rid of all these old designs that weren't mine and redid it. I kind of kept these old designs here just to remind me that my design is bigger and looks just as cool. So I was like, there you go, Lloyd. You know, like, because I wanted this all to be me, and it is. So, yeah, that's my base. That's what's going on. I don't know if like I said, I'll play this again right now, but I'm always going to play Factorio. I don't know next time I'll make a video either. Like, I might go back to play some more Diablo 2 for a little bit just to take a break, but from this, but I don't know. So, did this still, you know, I give up. So, yeah, that's my final base. Finally beat the DLC. Super stoked. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll catch anyone who watched next time. Goodbye.